I'm going to tell you the story of how I met Mama Pepper and how I proposed to her. The time I met her, I was recently back from New Orleans. I had originally moved out of Madison, Wisconsin to Delavan to try to cool off for a bit because of just some of the drug addictions I had. It was getting bad, running my life, spending a lot of time, a lot of money, on a lot of drugs. And moved out of Delavan, but then had an invitation to move down to New Orleans, so that didn't really work because I found myself in a giant port. They had 24-hour bars down there. I didn't know that before I moved. You could drink on the street there. You could drink in cars when I first moved down there. I said, wow, if I would have known this, probably would have moved down here years ago. And I also said if they had this where I came from, everyone I know would be dead. I mean, we did a pretty good job when you had liquor store hours and you couldn't drink in cars and you couldn't drink on the street. So anyway, it didn't help any of my problems, any of the things I'd given myself over to. A lot of cocaine, a lot of alcohol, a lot of marijuana, a lot of cigarettes, just kind of letting those things run my life. That was the purpose in my life. I had no other goal other than hopefully being dead by 30, so I didn't have to deal with anything any longer. So I'd moved back from New Orleans, still had connections in Madison, was running a lot of stuff up to where I was staying, still working regular jobs as well, and at a place I was working, eventually somebody said, hey, somebody here likes you. I pointed over at Mama Pepper. I said, well, it must be her. They said, why would you say that? I said, well, 3 reasons. I said, 1, she couldn't be that old, or she'd know what she was dealing with. I was kind of toxic at that time, not a very nice guy. I said, 2, she couldn't have worked here very long, or she'd know what she was dealing with. And 3, she couldn't have worked in my direct vicinity, or she'd know what she was dealing with. At the time, I was terrified when I found out that she had interest in me because I knew I could go for her. I could really feel for her. And I'd been hurt before, once. And ever since then, I didn't really care too much in any relationship. It was more of convenience, more just fulfilling certain desires and urges rather than trying to build a relationship. I didn't want to be a father. I didn't want to be a husband. I just wanted to live for pleasure for the time being and go from there. So I was afraid of her. But she started hanging out wherever I was hanging out after work, which is normally just a bunch of alcohol, bunch of weed, other drugs as well. And at some point she said, why do you do all these things to yourself? And I said, well, it's a terrible world out there. There's so many problems in the world, not really realizing that the life I was living and the things I was doing certainly wasn't making the world a better place either. And if you'd have told me at that point that what I was really looking for and searching for in this life was the peace and the joy, the contentment that can only come with the right relationship with God through the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, I'd have laughed or maybe even spit in your face at that point. But now I know, from the way that life has played out, from understanding that, from living that, now I know it to be true. But I was clueless at that point. Eventually, I wound up in a kitchen in the town Mama Pepper lived in at the time, getting her name, tattooed across my chest. And we got back to the vehicle afterwards, and I said, so you maybe want to be my wife? And she accepted. I mean, that's about how clueless we were, how much life made sense, but obviously God had different plans, and it's gone uphill from there. That's the story. That's about 5 minutes, so I'll talk to you guys later. Full steam ahead, hang in there. Alright, Papa out.
As always, I'm Papa Pepper, and I'd like to remind you, don't post for free. If you'd like to be part of a revolution in social media, an economic power to the people where users can actually blog for cryptocurrency, then I'd recommend that you check out steemit.com and join the revolution. Papa out.